Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of 5 in 5. So I hope you've enjoyed the New Year celebrations, that you're looking forward to a 2021, and that you will only have positive things to do and have a positive outlook for this year. So in this edition of 5 in 5, I'm going to look at 5 things that you need to look out for if you are a plant-based or vegan parent and you are baby-led weaning. So some of these would be general to plant-based or vegan people who follow the lifestyle, and it would be more applicable maybe to specifically vegans, because there are so many different kinds of vegan, and you can be vegan by just drinking juice and eating instant noodles and donuts and cookies and biscuits and all of the processed foods. So you can actually be terribly unhealthy following a vegan diet. So let's get into it. So number 1, vitamin B12. So this is one that everyone should be concerned about because most people in the world are slightly deficient in it. And a supplement would be the best way to get vitamin B12 because it's not really high in any specific food. Vitamin B12 is made by bacteria, so it's not made by an animal or a plant, it's made by a bacteria. So you need to eat the bacteria to get the B12. So because our food is so clean these days, we have very little bacteria present. So that is why vitamin B12 has become a problem. Back in the day, there was also more vitamin B12 than bacteria in the soil. So it was more widespread and it was more available in fruit and vegetables because it was in the soil. Now we have so much pesticides and herbicides and all these things that kill all the bugs and the pests and things, that we are killing all the bacteria and fungi and beneficial compounds in our soil. So that's why B12 has become a problem. So just look out for B12 and know that there are different kinds of B12. You can get supplements of generally cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin, which are the 2 forms of B12 that you'll usually get in a supplement. Cyanocobalamin is one that stores better, travels better, and is quite easily absorbed and in less of a amount or quantity. Methylcobalamin is temperature and heat sensitive and light sensitive, and it's not as well or easily absorbed. So you need higher amounts of methylcobalamin, and you need it like a daily. And cyanocobalamin you can take once a week or once a month, and then you can also get a B12 injection if you need. So you also get sublingual tablets, which are good because that will help with the absorption, but generally it has to go through the stomach to bind with intrinsic factor and then gets absorbed in your small intestine. So B12 can be a problem, so that's one. Then the second one, iron. Iron can be a problem. Iron can be a problem on a traditional diet as well. But iron you can get quite easily if you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. So iron is high in green leafy vegetables. It's also high in your microgreens, which concentrates the nutrients. It will also be high in seeds like pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. Then you also get iron in beetroot. A lot of iron in beetroot. You can also eat the beetroot greens, so which would also be considered leafy green vegetables. And then your sea vegetables, like your seaweeds and your kelp, they also have substantial amounts of iron. So broccoli is also green leafy vegetables. They also have quite a bit of iron in them. Then some of your fruit will also have iron, maybe in slightly lower amounts, but there's still iron in fruit, like your fatty ones like avocado, mango, and iron is distributed throughout the fruit kingdom as well. So if you eat a variety and a high amount of food, especially fruit and vegetables, a whole whole foods, plant-based diet, you will get enough iron as well if you have enough variety and you include nuts, seeds, legumes, and as I said, green leafy vegetables. So those are the first two, iron or vitamin B12 and iron. Then the next one is selenium. So selenium has decreased substantially with the decrease in soil quality and the addition of only NPK fertilizer, so nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium fertilizer, which makes the plant look healthy, taste okay, but lacking all the micronutrients, especially selenium. Then with all of the pesticides and chemicals that's been pumped into the soil and into the groundwater and into everything around us, the selenium levels have decreased. So fruits and vegetables have less selenium in them. And selenium is essential for our bodies. So selenium is very high in nuts, especially Brazil nuts, and it's also high in tropical fruit, especially the annona family of fruit, which include soursop, custard apple, and those more higher fatty fruits. So that is number 3. Then the next one, the thing to take care of on a plant-based or vegan diet is processed foods. So with processed foods, the biggest problem is salt, which would be number 4, and number 5 is sugar. So those are the 5 completed then. So I'm going to talk about salt and sugar. Salt is bad for your kidneys. They dehydrate you, they increase your blood pressure, and they make you eat things that you might not naturally have eaten. So salt is a flavor enhancer. It increases the flavor in things and it can make you addicted to food. So that's why people like to add more food. And the salt will also kill off your taste buds, making you taste less, making you add more salt. So it's not necessarily the salt that's bad for you, it's the Na part in the salt, the sodium. Sodium is present in your cells and it travels either into your cell or out of your cell to control the pressure in that cell. So that is why it also helps with a water balance. So if you are having too much sodium in your cell, there will not be water and you will be dehydrated. So sodium is not very healthy for you. Then the next one, sugar. Oh, and salt is a preservative, and that's why it's added in high amounts in processed foods to make them last longer. Then the next one, sugar. So sugar makes everything taste much better, and it also kills off your taste buds because you need to taste less if there's more sugar. So sugar by itself is not a bad thing. There are many different varieties of sugar, ribose, glucose, fructose, dextrose. There are so many different kinds of sugar. Our body runs on glucose, so it needs glucose, but it does not need the refined sugars. The ones that they're using now, the processed ones, high fructose corn syrup and also cane syrup are the 2 most popular ones. They are concentrated forms of fruit sugars. You would never consume that high amount of the fruit as what you do in the liquid form. And it's also removed all the beneficial compounds out of it, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the fiber, all the goodness is taken out, only that sugar part is left behind. So sugar is bad for your system as it increases the strain on your now I've forgotten, on your pancreas, which is the insulin producing organ. So the more sugar you are consuming, the more insulin needs to be secreted to remove the sugar or the glucose particles from your blood. And as the glucose particle is quite a big particle, if it's present in high amounts in your blood, it can damage your blood vessels because it also has sharp edges. So especially your peripheral nervous system, your touch, your sensory system will be damaged, your eyes, your kidneys, everything that has small tiny vessels, blood vessels, can be damaged with an increase in your blood glucose. And if your pancreas have to work harder for a longer period of time, we get type 2 diabetes where they eventually stop functioning because they have been put under so much pressure. Then what insulin also does, insulin removes the glucose from your blood and makes it become fat. It stores it in your fat. So higher insulin secretion, higher fat deposition in your body. So that's why I say a high plant-based intake needs to be whole foods and focused on a high fruit and vegetable intake, because that includes a lot of fiber and it won't contain all the processed junk that we sometimes put into our bodies. So the things you need to look out for: vitamin B12, iron, selenium, salt, sugar. So the 2 that you need to decrease and the 3 that you need to increase. So then also, just as a bonus, look out for variety. Include a variety, especially seeds, nuts, sprouts, microgreens, mushrooms. Include those medicinals as well, and ones that are concentrated in vitamins and minerals. So I hope you found some value in that. And remember that the parents need to be healthy for the child to be healthy. The health of the child starts before birth, starts 2 years before conception, in the mother and the father. Both parents have an influence on the infant's health, just as an added bonus as we are talking about baby-led weaning. Both parents have an influence on the child's health. So I hope that was beneficial. If you have any questions, pop a comment down below. And as always, please share, like, subscribe, and stay healthy. To God be the glory.